Hello. It's about 8:30 Saturday night. There goes some fireworks. Keeps happening. I've been hearing a lot of that. So, I completely forgot about yesterday. Oh, until like 11 o'clock last night. How funny is that? Oh, hey, Rosie. So, yeah, yesterday just completely got away from me. Um, where was I yesterday? Uh, Gosh, I had a lot on my plate. Still working on that darn apartment. I'll see a couple of waves to a couple of people here. Check, check, check. So, yeah, yesterday was a very busy day. Uh, oh, as soon as I sit down, I yawn. I'll let you guys look at my Buddha, though. How about that? Look at me. You can look at my Buddha. Can you see him okay? He's kind of dark right about now. It's getting dark out, isn't it? Hang on, let me change chairs. That's a little better, huh? He's a cutie pie. That's my happy Buddha. And he is a happy Buddha. So yeah, yesterday was, oh man, lot going on. Today too, actually, now that I think about it. My aunt came to visit with her daughter, my cousin, and who I haven't seen in, gosh, at least a year, I'm going to say. And then her kids, who are teenagers. So that was very nice. And I had a few schneckennoodle my mother made. Those are German Danish. And she made them last night. That's what I was doing. That's right. I went to see my mom again, and she needed to have me turn the oven on for her because she can't always see the temperature. So I stayed there and did some paperwork. Motor vehicle last year did not send me any renewals for my watercrafts, my vessels, which I thought was really weird. She's like, no, sometimes they don't. I'm like, it took me an hour and 40 minutes to get somebody on the phone at motor vehicle that day. But she did send the paperwork, so I sent it in today. So last night I was working on that. But I was hanging out so that my mom could make her schneckennoodle. And they taste as good as they sound. And you know what? What's really good about them is if you have them when they're warm, they're 10 times better. And so, of course, I did wait for one to come out of the oven. So I had them fresh. Those guys had them today. They chowed them down. So their name for my mother is Schneckennoodle Tunti. Tunti means aunt. And even though she's a grandmother to them in that regard, as far as age goes, they have somebody else who's a Tunti in their family. So that's Tunti, and my mother's Schneckennoodle Tunti. And everybody knows her for her Schneckennoodles anyways. That, her German coffee cake, German Apfelkuchen, apple cake, German apple cake, and her Kartoffelschnitz, which is just basically chicken soup with a lot of stuff in it, potatoes and carrots and celery and those kinds of things. So it's always good, right? Yeah, there's no bites left, John. Those are long gone. A dozen and a half went no time at all this morning for breakfast. It wasn't even breakfast, really. It was just a snack. So, yesterday was a little busy with that stuff. Today, I power washed the boat in the pouring rain. I got soaked, but it was okay because it was warm. And the boat looks a heck of a lot better, I can tell you that. I just have a little electric power washer, not fancy. but it did a pretty good job. Pretty happy with it. I was down in Chester. Hey, Liz. I didn't stop over because I wasn't sure if you guys were home, but I will next time. And got the boat cleaned up, so it looks pretty good. And that took hours, actually, now that I think about it. It did take quite a long time, but today was a good day to get it done, so I'm glad I got it done. It was overdue as far as I was concerned. And I came home, so I'm home now. Tomorrow is going to be a fair down at the Red Barn in Durham, weather permitting. I guess it has some chance of rain tomorrow again, but it looks slim, so hopefully it does happen. And we'll see how that goes and if people come. Someone else had a holistic fair, and they had a pretty decent turnout, so I'm assuming we might as well. So if you're not busy tomorrow and it's on, you can check out the Red Barn in Durham. It's a holistic center, and then they're going to have all outdoor booths. So I guess we'll be under a little pop-up tent, and we'll have information for the holistic community professionals. And if you want to check out our website, it's yourholisticcommunity.org. There's a lot of really great practitioners there that do all types of energy work and holistic products and organic products and natural products and all kinds of stuff. I believe it starts at noon, Deb. 12 o'clock till, I'm going to say either 12 to 4 or 12 to 5. You can text me and I'll let you know if it's happening. She's going to decide in the morning, I guess, if it has to get postponed because of weather, but I don't think so. I have a feeling we got a good day coming tomorrow. So Red Barn is in Durham, Connecticut, right off of 17. And again, noon to whatever. I'll be there a little early. I've got to get the table set up. So Your Holistic Community Professionals.org, and that's going to be some of the information we'll be giving out. We will also have the Natural Awakenings magazines, hard copy, so you're welcome to come and pick one up. I'll have both the Hartford edition, the annual directory, which is a really great edition, and the edition from Gail in New Haven, the New Haven edition, which is the southern part of the state. So that should cover us for magazines as well. So hopefully you have time to check that out tomorrow. And for church, I'm only going to be able to listen in. I'm looking forward to a woman named Ann Porto, who's going to be our speaker tomorrow. So if you have time to check that out, Spiritualist Church of Love and Light. Every Sunday we're on Zoom. Well, Zoom-like. It's actually called GoToMeeting. It's pretty cool. And we always have a great speaker. And I haven't met Ann in person yet. She was referred by one of our other speakers, so I'm looking forward to her talk tomorrow. We did a little test run this morning, and it worked out just great. So she's excited to do it. A lot of people are not familiar with these platforms, Zoom and GoToMeeting and WebMD, I think, is another one. And I know there's another one, I can't think of the name of it, where you get to see everybody and they get to see you. And it's pretty cool. Everybody can talk, or you can mute everybody and you have one speaker, that kind of thing. It's pretty interesting what technology has allowed us to do, right? So just like this, I mean, who'd have thunk about this 20 years ago? We could just talk and people could hear us from wherever they are, real time. It's not a movie. No, it's not a movie. And it's just interesting that we can do these kinds of things nowadays. And it's so taken for granted by people who are younger as a normal thing. But We were just talking about that the other day, how, things that we did 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, they're not even real now anymore, Also, we were talking about car seats. They didn't even have car seats when I was a kid, and we didn't even buckle ourselves in either. And I was talking about a picture that my mom had of me with this little contraption that hung over the front seat so that I could sit up high and look out the front window, just like the driver did. And it wasn't strapped in or anything. I'm sure it could have just flew through the window. Of course, cars didn't do over 40 back then either, I don't think. But, life has changed, hasn't it? And especially this year. So there's a lot of good stuff going on out there in the world. I hope you're partaking in some of that. Don't listen to all the negative news. There's always plenty of negative news. You know that, right? So, that's what the news, they should have some acronym for news, starting with the word negative as the N. Maybe somebody will come up with that yet. I don't have time to think about that right now. But I always like acronyms, so I always think they're interesting. Negative, everything, let's see, whatever. So, anyways, I digress. Don't watch the negative news. Don't watch negative anything if you can help it. It does not serve you. It does not serve you. And stay with the positive people. Stay with the positive news. You really need to always check up to a different level if you can. And I'm not saying it's easy. Some days it really sucks. I had a problem with my refrigerator on my boat. For some reason, it wasn't working today. So actually, I'm glad I went and checked it out. And no reason why it's not working. Everything, the power is on and everything, but it's just all the stuff in there is no good. So some of it was still okay. Brought it home to cook it. So I've got some food ready for tomorrow. Cooked it all tonight. It was fine, but not a fun thing. But good to find out, that I didn't wait 4 days for that information. I had to throw everything away. So it happens. And there's always negative stuff out there. Let's face it. That's just how life is. And, we're hardwired to think to the negative because that's how we are going to, survive. Back in the day, especially back in the way day, of caveman and all that, our brains were hardwired to watch for every possible scenario where we might get eaten or killed or taken out somehow. So, our brains are really looking for that all the time. But there's very little in this world that's going to take you out. And the COVID, even if you get it, isn't necessarily going to take you out either. I'm not saying it's not contagious. It is. However, it's not deadly. For some people it is, of course. We know that. But I don't think you got brought this far to be taken out there, So we're going to have to, pay attention to all the good news. Over 1 million people have survived, getting COVID-19 and coming through on the other side, and they're fine. I know a lot of people who had it, and yes, they got really sick, like a really bad flu, and it sucked, but they also realized that it wasn't as deadly as they feared it was going to be, and they're fine today. So, that's the other thing is I know the news never reports how many people have it and have survived, have it and have had it and survived. I know a lot of people that think they had it back in November, December, and January because they had a cold they just couldn't kick. And, of course, there was no name for it back then. So who knows? Who really knows? And, there's a lot of information that we don't know. Just picked up a book the other day from Alex Berenson, I think his name is. COVID truths and the lockdowns or something like that. I am looking forward to reading that pamphlet. Picked it up on Amazon. And this guy's an investigative journalist, so I thought it was good to get somebody's opinion and information who does investigations, not just their own opinion. So I'm going to check that out. I'll let you know more when I read through it and see what it's all about. But, you know, you don't have to be fearful. And none of us get out of here alive, guys. You know, we don't know when our time is up, but we don't have to be afraid of it either. You know, that's one of the things I'm not afraid of anymore. And there was a time that I was, so I'm not going to say that it's not real. It is real when you are believing that at that time in your life. But, you know, there comes a time when some of those things shift and change, thank God. And that's helpful. So stay on the positive side. Remember, the sun is always shining. You know, we have a little bit of a moon out here. Let's see. You can see my moon over here. Isn't he pretty? Half a moon, I should say. There's a half a moon up there tonight. And you know why we see that moon? Because the sun is shining on it. From the other side of the earth. How cool is that? Did you realize that? That's why you see it. Sometimes I forget that. And I just think, oh, it's just the moon shining. It's not. It's because the sun's shining. So I have to remind myself, the sun is always shining. And for me, it's always a reminder that even if I don't see it, even if it's raining, even if it's foggy, even if it's nighttime, the sun is always shining. The sun is always there for me. To me, that's like confirmation or a remembrance that, you know, my God is always with me. My God is in me, is about me, is with me. It's all surrounding me, just like the sun is always there. And you know what? There's a lot of people in your life that care about you. Even if you don't think of it every single day, try to remember people who think about you, that when you're thinking about them, they're probably thinking about you. Make that phone call, make that text, send that text, you know, and make that connection with that person. We are social beings. Let's stay social, okay? Even if you're going to be physically distant from somebody, let's stay social. So there's good ways to do that. There's safe ways to do that. And I hope you take part of that with you each day and stay positive. So, well, we're signing off with the sun is always shining. And I will get on here tomorrow at some point. Maybe I'll do it during the fair if I'm over there, when I'm over there at the Red Barn. So catch you guys on the flip side. Bye for now.